Tanya, may I ask a question? I would like to know, you mentioned you are a business broker, so you love what you're doing. Let's say if you close like me a couple business with real estate involved, do you
Yeah.
consider you are a commercial real estate or not, please?
Well, yeah. I mean, if I'm selling a business and the owner owns a commercial real estate and I'm selling the commercial real estate, then yeah, then I'm doing both. I'm a business broker on the business deal and a commercial real estate broker on the real estate deal.
Oh, so if I
You
close,
typically have them
yeah,
both.
I did. I close many business with a real estate.
Yeah,
So, oh, I see. Thank you.
yeah. By the way, if you're not in if you're in a non-licensed state like Texas, Lisa, you cannot go. When I say that I try to have Main Street businesses go directly to a purchase agreement, that's because California is a licensed state, and and you're required to have a real estate license to sell a business in California and in 16 other states. And
Okay.
so that means we can fill in the blanks on forms. We're allowed to do that. We're allowed to fill in the blanks on a purchase agreement, just like you would on, commercial real estate or any other type of house or residential. But because Texas is a non-licensed state, so is Montana and, a bunch of others, you cannot fill in the blanks on a purchase agreement, or you can be deemed to be practicing law without a license. So you have to be very careful of that and make sure that in those states you don't want to go past the LOI, because the attorneys have to actually draft the purchase agreements or fill in the blanks on a purchase agreement. So if you are working with an attorney who has provided you with a form that they typically use or something like that and says, yeah, go ahead and fill in the blanks and send it to me and I'll review it and give you my blessing, then the attorney is the one that, is still reviewing it and doing what's necessary. So just be careful with that. In non-licensed states, there is a line you can't cross, or you put yourself at risk of being accused of practicing law without a license.
But if you do have a Texas real estate license in Texas, you can do the same as you're doing in California. Is that correct?
No, because business doesn't require. So selling a business in Texas is not subject to any of the Department of Real Estate or whatever Texas real estate is called, is not subject to that code, because it's not considered, it's just not subject to that code, because it's not overseen by Texas's Department of Real Estate. So in California, you cannot sell a business opportunity, is what they call it, a business opportunity, without having a real estate license. And so negotiating with buyers and sellers and filling out the paperwork, that is all licensed activity that cannot be done without a license. So Texas, that wouldn't apply, because since you don't have to have a license to begin with, it wouldn't be licensed activity. It's not
Right.
subject to those laws. So
But
then
if
it
you did
becomes
have the license, doesn't that make you now licensed to fill in that form, similar to California? And I know it's not required, but if you do have that real estate license, you can now fill in that form. I'm kind of nervous because I've done that. So
Yeah, I mean, I
think it's illegal.
I would check with an attorney in Texas, but I would say no.
No.
I would say it's not applicable, because again, it's like, just because you have a real estate license doesn't mean that you have the ability to draft a consulting agreement for somebody or an employment agreement for somebody. So why would you be able to draft or put together a sale and purchase agreement for a business?
But I'm running the parallels to California, because you're saying California, if you do have the real estate license, then you are licensed to do all that.
Only because our code includes that, because it's part of it's, you have to have a license or you're not allowed to. So
Okay.
yeah.
So I
think
hope you
that's the
understand what
major
I'm saying, what the confusion is.
Yeah.
Saying even though we don't have to have a license, if we happen to have a license, then doesn't that make us, similar to California?
If you had to have a license, then yes, because your real estate code would identify the fact that because you are licensed under that code, that you are allowed to fill out certain types of forms, including anything that is required for licensed activity. But this is not, selling a business in Texas is not licensed activity. So I
Okay.
don't believe that at that point, just because you have a license is like, yeah, so what? Because
Just
it's not the
employing.
right kind of license for filling
Yeah.
out the contract, for drafting the types of contracts that you're dealing with. So,
So to get a California real estate license, is that more involved? That it does encompass business brokering
oh
knowledge?
no, no,
Then why would it
they
be any
have
different?
nothing whatsoever on business brokering, like not even one question
Okay. All right.
on the exams. There's nothing, there's no continuing ed. I mean, that's why, that's why anybody who's doing business brokerage in California, I always tell them you need to join CAB, the California Association of Business Brokers, because that's where you're going to get your California specific education on selling businesses. Even CAR, the California Association of Realtors, they have forms that they make available
Mhm.
for people to transact a business. They literally have zero education.
Yeah.
Not even one video on how to do anything. I'd like nothing. Unless that changed since the last time I had a conversation with the car attorney. And so to me, that's setting brokers up, business broker, that is setting people up for a lawsuit. Because if you're giving them a form and you don't give them any instruction, any education, and selling businesses is so very different from selling real estate, residential, commercial. It's just very different. So I don't know, but yeah, car. I was talking to one of the car attorneys. I was like, you all need to just refer if one of these realtors, if they want to sell businesses, you need to refer them to CAB so we can educate them properly and all of that. But they don't want to. It's like, stay in your lane. Look at your NAR, your National Association of Realtors, and their code of ethics and all that has something, I forget, is section 11 or something. I can't remember the exact section, but it's really talking about staying in your lane and not taking on things that are outside of your level of competency. And then they go back to CAR, and it's just like, you need to follow the National Association of Realtors ethics code.